I'm driving down the road. I'm 26 years old. My wife's 24 years old. We're on a Harley Davidson. Our little niece is 3 years old. We're only driving a mile to the ice cream shop. Man, I know it's not the right thing to do to have three of us on a bike, but we're on a 25-mile-an-hour zone. We're only going 1 mile. We're getting ice cream. She's taking a bike ride. It's not a big deal. I pull out on the main road. We're driving down the road. I literally see a truck pulling up, and he hits his blinker. What do? We're like, am I going to slow down? Is this guy going to pull across? What is this guy going to do? He completely comes to a stop. Remember, I'm still driving. I'm about to pass. He's sitting there. As I get close to go past where he is, because he's got his blinker on, as I almost get to where he's at, truck hasn't moved, blinker's on, obviously he's gonna go after we pass, he shoots across. I want you to understand this. I got two choices. I have a microsecond to make a choice. So I rip the bike. When I do and I pull the handlebars, I literally smack the ground, the running boards break off, the bike hits, and I pull the bike back up. As soon as I look ahead of me, there's a car coming head on because we're in head on traffic now. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andy Elliott. Today I'm here with one of my brothers. His name is Moses. Now, when I talk to you about Moses here in just a minute, he's the comeback kid of all comeback kids. And by the way, 95% of you watching this right now, you've been through something, you've been through some pain, maybe you started from nothing, maybe you're in a different chapter of your life right now, maybe the economy's changed, maybe your business has changed, something's changed, and you're like, dude, I got to change. I got to shift. I got to adapt. And so he created this book, Filled to Fortunes, which, by the way, his story's insane. And all of you want to hear it. Let me tell you this. This is not a podcast where I'm going to sit here and we're going to bore you. I'm actually going to tell you a real life story today. And I'm going to let the author tell it because it was his life. And I bet all of you can identify yourself in his life, where you're at somewhere in his life right now. And I think I want him to share some of the decisions he made that has got him to where he's at. And those decisions are going to help you decide what next decision you need to make in your life. So Moses, appreciate you, brother. I'm glad you're here. I'm wearing a ripped up t-shirt and some shorts. He's suited up and ready to rock and roll. And by the way, I'm 46 years old. He's about to be 51. We run like we're 18. There's going to be a lot of gold nuggets. So I'd grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, grab something to write with. And Moses, you're an immigrant, right?
Son of an immigrant, yes. I was born here, but my mom was from Mexico.
Okay, so your mom's from Mexico. My whole family's from Mexico. My kids got dual citizenship. My wife's from MLCO, Sonora, Mexico. So I love Mexico.
Awesome.
Right? I love it. And a lot of the people, when they're foreigners and they come to this country, there's opportunity. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So why don't you talk to us about, like, you grew up, right? Let's start, like, and obviously you can tell everybody what you do real quick.
Sure.
And kind of where you're at, because people are always like, who is this guy and why should I listen? Sure. So let's cover that for a minute. Then let's go back to, like, your mom and you and being in the fields, because this says Fields to Fortune.
Yes.
And when they hear fields, is that a baseball field or is that like a farm field?
Farm field, cotton fields.
Yeah, and I want you to share that because a lot of you think you've been through something. I want you to listen closely. And obviously, he's going to give you some secrets on how he's been able to get to success and the decisions you made along the way. So really quickly, tell him what you do and roughly like what success looks like for your life today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Andy. First of all, man, I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me here. My name is Moses Heredia. My company name is Global Processing Systems. Been in business 22 years. What we do is we enable business owners to accept any form of payment other than cash. So whether it's credit cards, POS systems, gateways, Apple Pay, all that good stuff. Some of our name brand customers that people may know listening to us would be like Toyota, Pollo Loco, Domino's Pizza. So we have the big name brands, but at the end of the day, that's not where I started. We cater to the small mom and pop. Let's say you have a small business and you run it out of your garage and you're doing crafts or arts or selling it online. Like, we cater to that individual.
Anybody taking a payment?
Hey, man, anyone that wants to take a form of payment or needs a POS. So been doing that quite a bit of time. So before my company, so that's what I do. So today, and I've been doing that. That's primarily my only profession that I've ever had, other than working out with my mom out in the field. So I used to work for the largest company in the world, national processing company at the time, and I was there 10 years. So I started from nothing. I started at $4.25. But I could back up where I really grew up and learned the grind. So I patented the 4 Gs, brother. It's God, goals, grind, and global. And when I mean global, make an impact in life, and a global impact. So I patented that. My mom was an immigrant, right? So I never had a babysitter. She would wrap me like a burrito and put me on the floorboard of the pickup truck. it was always dark, so it was like 5 in the morning, man, and we'd go straight to the field. So she would put the ladies in the front of the pickup truck, and the camper and the shell, we would put all the guys, right? And we would go out to the fields, and I'm talking about chopped cotton, peanuts, cucumber, bell pepper, pecans. So we would be out there in 100 degrees weather, just walking miles and miles, and then coming back. And when we would get back, we would love and look forward to the water, man, because water was the key to the surviving that day. So she would wrap me up like a burrito, put me in, and that was my day. So my childhood days were I would play out in the sand and underneath a truck to keep shade, because there was no shade out there. So there was wilderness. And for those of you folks that, we're talking about a while back, right? So there was no potty, no restrooms, no regulations.
Outdoors.
It was rough, right? But that's what got me the grind, brother. That's what got me the goal setting. That's what got me faith related, and that's where it all started. It started there, and I remember working in the fields as a young man and said, you know what? I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. My mom was teaching me a valuable lesson. It wasn't that she was upset with me or didn't want me to have a babysitter. She was teaching me a lesson to get out there and this is your future if you don't get off your ass and do something about it, pretty much. Because, listen, my book talks about, it doesn't matter the color of your skin, if you come from wealth, or you're educated, because I have no education. I mean, I'm blessed with just a high school diploma, and it got me where I'm at today. So that went on into my teenage years, and then I moved to California at the age of 17. It happened on my birthday. Came to California for the biggest thing, biggest new things. I went to high school, graduated from that, and then I was going to go into law enforcement, and I got a small degree in that, but God kept me away from that, and I got into sales, and it was credit card processing. So I went to the unemployment office. Back then, they didn't have social media or that kind of stuff where you can go on unemployment. So I went to the employment office in Holt on Pomona, and it was a bulletin board, and it said fast food for some, Andy, and then some other ones were like, okay, here's something with telemarketing and bank card, and that sounded a little more interesting up my alley, right? So did that, answered the ad, $4.25 an hour. That's where it started. Then after that, I was in a month I got promoted to manager, had 10 telemarketers. And then here's the breakthrough, guys. Here's where God just made it happen. So I was in the office, and there was an appointment that was set for a gentleman who owned a glass company, but he only spoke Spanish. So I made that appointment. I was bilingual. I gave it to my manager. He goes, hey, there's no salespeople here. I mean, our corporate office at that time was in Louisville, Kentucky, right? So there was no one that was bilingual. So I said, you know what, I'll run it. He goes, no, you can't run it. You're handling the office. You're in charge of 10 people, and you open the door and you close the door. I need you here. I'm like, no, today I resign. I left, drove about an hour to Simi Valley, California, closed that deal, made about $1,000, and I never looked back. That's where the breakthrough moment where I came into sales.
That's beautiful.
In 1994.
I love it. And so, just curious, I mean, because a lot of people, they can't see that far ahead, right? Like, people always say dream, right? But maybe this podcast will help somebody dream a little bigger, right? When you were younger, at that time, you probably didn't see a dream of a life that you have today.
Absolutely not.
It's one little baby carrot at a time.
100%.
Over your life.
Andy, and listen, let me tell you something. It didn't come easy. In 1994, when I went to sales on commission only, guys, I was in the commission only position, I'd say maybe 6 months, and I got a car accident, totaled in the back, rear-ended, bam, right down the 10 freeway in L.A. I was without a car for about 10 to 11 months, and guess what I did? I could have gone home. I could have cried, went back, went sheltered, but I prayed to God, man. Got on my knees, and I cried, brother, real tears. And I said, God, I need your help. I had to take cold showers because I had no gas, so it wouldn't warm up. So cold showers, I had no electricity. And my buddy from high school would pull up and take my trash out because my bins I couldn't afford to pay the trash guy to come and pick up my trash. So it got really bad, brother. It got bad where I would go to fast food places. I would take napkins from there. I would take toilet paper. Listen, man, so it wasn't easy. I don't want everyone to listen like, hey, I just fell into it. No, absolutely not.
No,
at the end of the day,
hustling. There was some, I always say this, there was probably some embarrassing moments, right?
100%.
Like, because you feel like, I don't want to do this, but you have to do it because you're not going to quit.
Absolutely.
Right? So you just keep going with the punches.
Quitting was never in my vocabulary, and I thank God for putting me there. And I give a lot of credit to my mom. God rest her soul. She passed in 2004. But I never gave up, Andy. So I would take a pedal bike, man. They didn't have electric bikes back then, bro. So I would take a pedal bike to my to my merchants, to my clients. I would borrow cars. I would go take the Metrolink. But listen, quitting was never in my vocabulary. I didn't care what I had to do. I was not going to have my mom come from another country and bring us here or have us here in the United States for the dream so we could fail. And my goal was to make enough to go back home and put her in a better position that she's ever been. So listen, everything was history after that. So I got promoted. So then I went to sales, then senior sales executive. Then I went to territory manager, district manager, regional manager. Then I was offered a VP position to move to Louisville, Kentucky, and California was already my home after 10 years, Andy. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. So it's always had been on my mind because of my mom to be an entrepreneur. So after 10 years, I just walked out one day, just like out of the blue, brother. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a business name. I didn't have anything. But I wanted to do it the right way because I was there for 10 years. And I was very loyal to them and everyone, right? So I wanted to do it the right way. I didn't want to double dip or do anything. It's like, listen, if you're going to do something, I always tell my staff, don't lie, cheat, or steal, and we're riding till the wheels fall off. That's how I have the culture at my company. So I've been very blessed. So my company was open in late October in 2003, and we're rocking and rolling and really blessed, man.
Okay, a couple things.
Sure.
Because I want to give people like some your perspective, right? Because I like identities, I like beliefs, and I like perspectives. I believe those three things really make up people. What has always been your perspective towards sales? Because you wouldn't be here without sales, and you're still in sales, and your company sells. So what is your perspective towards sales? What is the perspective that you have that you think anyone in the audience could listen to that maybe would help them in sales? Because a lot of my people in this channel are business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople, leaders.
Here's the thing, and I learned this on my own because when I got into this business, great question, Andy. When I got into this business and sales in general, I didn't know any better, right? There was no training. They didn't train me. They gave me a big old binder and said, "Here, go read it." So I learned on my own, and I recorded it. Back in the day, in the 90s, brother, there was those little tape recorders, right? And I had the briefcase, and I would cover it up with a piece of paper, but it was just for my knowledge, right, to help me train and get better. So my perspective is, at that time I didn't know, but I learned, is relationships. It's not, you got to think of the client first, because when I first started sales, I was like, okay, I want to make this money, I want to make this commission. It's me. It's about me. Well, guess what, man? You have it wrong. It was never about me. It was about relationships. What can you do to satisfy the person who is going to be your customer? What can you do to benefit their business, enhance it, and improve their bottom line? So to me, it's always been relationships.
Yeah, so people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care, right?
100%.
And whoever cares the most about the clients wins.
Exactly.
And so if you just show them you care and they feel like you care about them more than they care about themselves, they're going to trust you.
100%.
Yeah, and so I love that. So your perspective is fire. What has always been your belief? Like a belief system, right? Like, when you went into a sale, did you always believe like everybody can buy, came to buy, and will buy? Like you believe that? Or was you ever like fighting doubt in your mind who was going to buy? Like how did you feel like in confidence?
Listen, at the end of the day, where that comes in for me was being dedicated and persistent. At the end of the day, every customer wasn't going to buy. That's fine. They may not buy today. They'll buy tomorrow. But you have to be dedicated and keep going. There's not just one customer on this planet. You need to be persistent and turn the door, keep flipping, keep dialing, keep talking to someone. Listen, blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. So at the end of the day is be persistent, be dedicated, man, because not everyone's going to buy, Andy, and that's fine. They may not buy today, or they may never buy from you, but guess what? You got to move on to the next one. Go, turn the page, man.
Yeah, I think persistency always wins in sales, and you can never give up. And also, a lot of the times, people need more information. People need to spend a little bit more time with you. Maybe they don't trust you fast enough. Maybe they've been screwed before. And so there's that wall, and a lot of people, when they start to hear no, they like just shut down, and they're like, oh, they're out.
Absolutely.
Well, they're not out. I mean, obviously these people are interested in something or they wouldn't be talking to you.
100%.
Yeah, so I love that. And then what about your identity? Okay, like talk to me as you've increased in success, right? You've increased in accolades, you've increased in money, you've increased in, authority, like in life, right? Like people look up to you, you start to have nicer stuff. What has been your identity, right, as you've gone, and what would be a good identity like that you could share with people?
Yes.
Like, because Fields to Fortune, like your book, which we'll talk about in a minute because I want everybody to get it, but I want to know, like, what does that identity look like? Because how you think about yourself is how your whole life is going to be.
100%.
Right?
100%. That's a great question, Andy. And what I do is I look back when I was a kid, man, and I was a child. And the identity is that I want today to teach, and I'm going to the school where I was born in elementary, where I used to go in elementary, and to teach the youth that there is a future, there is a better life out there. Coming from a small town, and the population was so tiny that, especially if your parents are not educated, don't speak English, or they don't know much, they can't educate you, right? Their education goes so far. Mm-hmm. But for me, my identity is like, listen, don't lie, cheat, or steal, and I preach that in my culture, in my company. And for me now that God has blessed me, my goal right now is to influence the younger crowd and the young children out there, because that's our future, man. That's our future, who's going to take us to the next level. So I actually have some appointments already to go out there and talk about where I came from, how I was able to develop it, and that there is a future out there. You just have to be consistent, work hard, and stay out of the drugs, stay out of the nightclubs. A lot of my friends that I was in high school with, they would always call me, and today is a joke. They always say, you were always out working. I was like, you know what? I was out there at the bank cashing my checks. Your ass was always at the bar. Mm-hmm. So now they're way behind, and
they laughed at you then. Now
they laughed, absolutely, yeah. Man. But I laugh with them, but we understand each other, and I respect them. They respect me, but we're still good friends. At the end of the day, they know my goals. Paths. 2 different paths and 2 different goal mindset.
Yeah, I always say there's the good life, the great life, and then there's the goat life.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I want the goat life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, number one, it just basically recapping what he said is you have non-negotiables, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, I want X. And mm-hmm. so, like, if what I'm going to do doesn't align with my 2-year goal or who I want to be, mm-hmm. I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, that's where they get shaken. Because if you don't know who you want to be, the world will tell you who you're going to be really fast, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you made a decision who you're going to be.
100%.
And that was your identity. And that's the reason why you became successful, because you were unwavering in it, right? Which is in the Bible, it talks about like be unswerving, don't waver in your faith,
Yeah.
And again, and we'll get to your faith here in a minute, because I think that's a big part. I tell everybody, I'm like, look, when you get close to me, you'll like understand there's a lot of really cool stuff going on, but the foundation of all of it is God.
Yes.
Okay. And when you understand that, you'll understand that anybody that's going to build a big business, build a big life, is going to be happy, is going to have faith. And you can't have faith without God. Yeah. It's physically impossible. Yeah. And so it's really hard for me to coach and train people who don't believe in God, because it's not because I don't love them, but it's because their faith isn't there. And without that faith, they're never going to be able to be successful like the other person. And even if they do, they'll probably lose it. And it's just money. It'll be an empty heart with a bank full of money. But I want to say a couple things. So you have high standards.
Yes.
Right? I said he had non-negotiables, right? Mm-hmm. A couple of these things are things that a lot of people right now, they can raise 1 or 2 of their standards, but also you are resourceful. You said your mom and your dad, they didn't have the education. Basically, they didn't have the resources. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's talk about your book just for a minute. Sure. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, because number one, I want you to tell them where they can go get it. And then let's keep rolling on to where you're at today, and your company's massive and you're crushing it. And let's get to some of the cool stuff, but these are the lessons. And so your book can be a resource to anybody right now who's watching this, and tell them what is in the book. What will they learn? If I was like 30 seconds, why should I read this book?
Sure. Absolutely, man. You can get the book at Barnes & Noble online and also on Amazon. Okay. So that's where it's at. Now
it's called Fields to Fortune.
Fields to Fortune.
Okay. All right. And so in 30 seconds, okay, sell us. Why should we all read this book?
It's a blueprint to every entrepreneur and everyone that has a dream and that needs to achieve it, because it talks through my whole life story, where I had so many doubts. I had 3 people before I opened my company that I went to. Don't go and open your business. Don't pull for your 401k out. I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I was like, you know what? My accountant, he's a separate guy. I'm going to talk to him. He understands me. He used to be a pastor for 13 years. He knows where I'm coming from. I went to him and I told him the same thing. He's like, Moses, do not pull for your 401k. No, that's a very risky move. I was like, man, this is ridiculous, right? So I'm like, okay, last person is my attorney friend, who became my friend, Andy, because I got in that car accident. So he became my friend, and it would bounce ideas off of him. So I went to him, and I went to his office, and I sketched it out. I didn't have a PowerPoint business plan, nothing. It was all sketched out. So I showed it to him. He laughed at me. He goes, Moses, if that what you're telling me is true, what you can do in this business, and he laughed and he goes, I'm in the wrong business, so I can't advise you which way to go. So to me, this whole book explains more in depth and detail as a blueprint about how someone gets crushed down. You know what I did wrong is I was asking people instead of God, dude. That's where I messed up, man. Mm-hmm. I got down on my knees and I prayed. I was like, what is my future here? What am I doing? Why did you bring me to California? I'm suffering. Like, what's up? I was asking the wrong person, brother. And a very religious pastor, Sister Palmer, God rest her soul, told me, go in business for yourself. And I didn't listen at the time. I was still, trucking, doing my own thing. And she said, go in business for yourself. And I didn't listen. After 3 months, I said, I think she's right. And that's when I went to business on my own. And it's been a miracle, bro. So
okay, I want to tell everybody something real quick. Number one, the first thing that he did wrong, which he said he did wrong, was he asked people instead of God. Let me explain why you can't ask people who know you. Because people who know you put boundaries on you. They put you in a box, and they have already decided who you're going to become. Does that make sense?
100%.
Because they know you. So when you decide to make a decision to change, which is what you did, and level up, the people around you, they don't know what's inside of you. They don't know how great you can be because they're not you. All they know is what you were doing before that. So they're labeling you and your boundary, putting those boundaries on you based on who you currently were. And so I get it. If no one around you right now believes you can't be great, don't be mad at them. Guess what? They just put boundaries on you. Now, the question is, did you put boundaries on yourself? And the deal is you didn't. And doubt is a traitor. Here's what I'll tell you. Everybody's going to doubt you in this world, but you can never doubt yourself. Doubt is a traitor, and I kill traitors. I hate traitors. So you can never betray yourself, and you can never doubt yourself. Also, you'll never out-earn your own self-worth. So no matter what anyone else thinks you're worth, it matters what you think you are worth. And you were looking from validation from everywhere around the world. Like, who's going to believe in me? Who's going to tell me? Guess what? Here's news for everybody. No one's going to believe in you.
100%.
Okay? And then when you pull it off, everybody's going to be blown away, and your haters are still going to be mad. And they're not hating you. They just hate the standards that you live by. Yes. They hate it. And you're basically the comeback kid. So I'm going to say this about this book. This is why everybody needs to go and get the book, Fields to Fortune, right now, is because he is a living proof example, living proof, not in theory, but living applicant teacher of how to come back. And I think everyone in this world has made a mistake or will make a mistake today or is going to make one tomorrow. Yes. And if you can come back, you win. As long as you never quit. Winners live where quitters quit.
Yes.
Okay? All those people that were your buddies, they just quit.
Right.
And the reason why you went further is because you went to a place where they never got to because they all quit. And plus, other people probably have boundaries on them. They believe that. And honestly, dude, whatever you believe is the truth.
Right.
Right? Whatever
100%.
you believe is the truth. If you don't believe God is real, then you believe God isn't real. And so you live a faithless life, and you're never going to feel love. You're never going to feel peace. You're always going to have chaos. But then at the end of your life, you will want to come to him before you die.
100%.
Sad.
Yeah.
Or you could do it today, and you could say, I choose to believe. And whether I see him or not, I can look back at countless times in my life where I know I should be dead.
Yeah.
I literally wrote down on a piece of paper, somebody goes, how do you know God's real? And I said, well, I'll give you 10 things for sure that are unexplainable. They're unexplainable, like as in you can't explain it. So if I told you a story right now and I would say, explain to me how this happened. and you had science and you had everything to go with, you couldn't explain it. I'm driving down the road. I'm 26 years old. My wife's 24 years old. We're on a Harley Davidson. Okay. Our little niece is 3 years old. There's 3 of us on a big 1400cc Road King Harley. Wow. I'm 26. She's 24. Our niece is 3. There's 3 of us on a big bike. We're only driving a mile to the ice cream shop. It's in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Man, I know it's not the right thing to do to have 3 of us on a bike, but we're on a 25-mile-an-hour zone. We're only going 1 mile. We're getting ice cream. She's taking a bike ride. It's not a big deal. I'm going to be very safe. I'm going to be very defensive. I'm going to drive really good. I understand I've got a 3-year-old on there with us. She's having fun. I pull out on the main road. We're driving down the road. It's a 2-lane. There's 1 lane going one way, 1 lane coming the other. It's a beautiful day. It's light outside. I'm going 25 miles an hour. Halfway to the ice cream shop, I literally see a truck pulling up and he hits his blinker. What do? We're like, am I going to slow down? Is this guy going to pull across? What is this guy going to do? He completely comes to a stop. Remember, I'm still driving. I'm about to pass. He's sitting there. as I get close to go past where he is, because he's got his blinker on, as I almost get to where he's at, truck hasn't moved, blinkers on, obviously he's going to go after we pass, he shoots across.
Wow.
Listen, as I literally become equals with his truck, he shoots across.
Wow.
I want you to understand this. I got two choices. I have a microsecond to make a choice. I smack 25 miles an hour into the truck, which you know what would happen.
Yeah.
We're on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I rip the bike to the left and pull the handlebars as hard as I can and lay the bike down and pray to miss the truck. Listen, either one of them are nasty.
Oh, okay.
So you say, so let's say God doesn't exist. Either way is going to be ugly. Am I right?
100%.
Okay. I rip the handlebars because I don't want to smash the truck. So I know that we're going sliding, which everybody's screwed at this point. So I rip the bike. When I do and I pull the handlebars, I literally smack the ground. Watch. The running boards break off. The bike hits and I pull the bike back up. Watch. This is a 1,000-pound 1,400cc Road King sissy bars.
Crazy.
I'm 26. Watch this. Pull the bike back up. As soon as I look ahead of me, there's a car coming head on because we're in head on traffic now. Now I'm going to hit another car in a microsecond that is coming head on at us because we're on the other side of the road. What do I got to do? Hit this car head on or pull the handlebars again. I rip the bike as hard as I can. Watch. Bam! We hit the other side of the ground. Watch. Bike comes back up. I literally stop the bike. Nobody has a scratch on us. The running boards are broke off the bike. The bike is damaged. All three of us don't have a scratch.
Can't explain that.
It's unexplainable. So like when people are like, tell me God's real.
Yeah.
I'm like, tell me he's not real. And see, as I look back and I write those 10 times, dude, I have 10 situations in my head that I can write down that are unexplainable.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I really believe that's why as you're writing this book and you're doing these things, God has kept you alive to get you ready
100%.
to share your message, right?
100%.
And so basically, look, anybody who's watching this right now, they're literally one resource away from changing their life.
Yeah.
One mentor, one book, one event, one speaker, one podcast.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's not about like get the book because you believe in God, but I'm going to tell everybody, you need to understand this. Guys like me and him, we weren't supposed to be this successful, but because we didn't quit, we always, when we fell off the horse, got back on. We stayed faithful, even though we messed up, we sinned, we screwed up. We always knew we had a Savior. And then we kept figuring out how to be a student of the game and get better every day. I keep learning. I'm obsessed with learning.
Yeah.
I want to learn from everybody. I'm a psycho with learning.
Yeah.
I want to learn everything that everyone can do. And so since I do all these things, I'm like, oh my God, we can literally, there's 8 billion people in this world that want a great life.
Yeah.
And they're one book away from doing it. And so in this book, you talk about how you go from the field all the way to where your business is now, the struggles you went through, how you did it, the good decisions. And by the way, your story. And I want to tell everybody something real quick. I think people really underestimate what books are for. A book, at you being 50 years old, I can read this book, which doesn't look very thick. It probably would take me 2 weeks to read it if I was a slow reader. 2 weeks I could read this. In 2 weeks, I could understand what you learned in 50 years in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
People say they want the shortcut, they want the hack.
Yeah.
Read the freaking book.
100%.
Yeah, so get it. So I just wanted to say that's a resource right now. I can't wait to tear it down as soon as we're done.
Thank you, brother, man. Your story was definitely unexplainable for us. It's a miracle, man. It's there's a higher source, and people hope they receive that message about that. So, yeah, absolutely, man. Getting back to the book, brother, there's a lot of scriptures in there that Nicole Valance was instrumental in helping me. She's our executive vice president for my company, and we got together, chopped it up, and it's really impactful. It talks about different scriptures, different miracles that happen in my life that are unexplainable, like you said, man. So a couple of things that get me emotional. Number one is when I speak about God, and number two is children. Like those are the things that just hits me hard. I'm like, I try to hold it
I
back.
love children.
But other than that, dude, I mean,
Well, plus when you get emotional, like I've seen you a couple times, tear up, get emotional, your face gets tight. You know what that is? That's called having a dream you're chasing. I always say, if you can't close your eyes and think about your dream, and it doesn't either get you fired up or get you emotional, you don't have a real dream.
Yeah.
You don't have one.
Yeah.
And so if people aren't clear what they want, they can't attack it viciously. And so a guy like you, the reason why you're successful is because you're clear on what you want.
Yeah.
And that's why everything that you do, you can attack viciously because you're clear. And when you close your eyes, you can see what you want, you can feel what you want, and you're actually living your dream.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. No, I
Yeah.
get it.
And plus you're proud of yourself as a man. So I say, like, any man that wants to be proud of himself, all he has to do is do the work, whether he feels like doing it or not, and do it every day. And you will be proud of yourself every single day. Like, there'll never be a day that you won't wake up and you won't be proud of you. And plus, a guy like you, that why you keep excelling is because you have progress. You chase progress. And guess what progress does for any human? It makes them happy.
Yeah.
I've never met a person who isn't getting better every day that didn't like themselves, And so
Absolutely.
again, what does the book do? It allows people to progress in their life. And if anything, it solves one problem. By the way, when you say scripture, right, I want to be clear, because there's religious people and there's people that have a relationship with Jesus. There's people that have a relationship with God.
Yes.
And a lot of Christians throw scripture around everywhere, and they don't show people love. It's the truth. More Christians have ran off people than others. And I want to say
100%.
something. What does scripture means to me? I love self-development. I love it.
Yeah.
If I told you that today, if you decided to be a new person, you literally could be one and you could become whoever you wanted, that's exciting, isn't it?
100%.
Well, in the Bible, it talks about the old is gone, the new has come. It literally, and by the way, what if I told you that if you're the worst person in the world and you're watching this podcast today and you're a really bad person, and you're like, man, these guys are good people, like, I'll never be like that. Nope. Let's go back to the Bible again. Saul, who was the Christian killer, who was the worst of the worst, who was persecuting Christians, who was the worst of the worst. This guy was hanging, killing kids, Christians, families, anybody. He became the Apostle Paul, who was the poster child of the New Testament. And so, like, I tell people, I'm like, dude, scripture isn't something that just the holy read and understand. It is literally modern day self-development, and it's biblical.
100%.
It's literally a self-development book. Like, when I
is.
read the Bible, I'm like reading the best self-development book in the world, because the greatest leader in the world was Jesus.
Yeah.
He was the greatest salesman in the world also.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it thousands of years ago. And look, dude, I mean, hell, I had a meeting last week and no one talks about it. This guy had a meeting freaking thousands of years ago and everybody's still raving about it.
Right.
I mean, this guy's stuff is real. And so it's like, I love this. Like, I look up to people and I'm like, man, like, this guy was the best at what he did. He's the best leader. So if we were going to lead, what would be the best leadership book in the world? It would be the Bible. And so anytime a guy like you writes a book that has your life story, which literally I can figure out what mistakes you did and what you did right for 50 years, and you're successful and run a millions of dollars business, whatever it is, you can do whatever you want with whoever you want, whenever you want. I'm like, I want a life like that. Wait a minute, this guy believes in God. Maybe I need to know who he knows. Get in the book, read the book. It tells you how to do it. Plus, you see the scripture that specifically helped you along the way, which, again, is self-development, right? And reading the Bible is made to change you, right?
100%.
Yeah, and it says, Romans 12:12, it says, do not conform, right?
Yeah. 100%.
You know why you're successful, right? Because you didn't get civilized.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you didn't conform. That's why. Okay, because all the people that were conforming, they're not here today with a book. They're not here with their family, their team in a suit, living life, traveling, having fun. You know what they're doing? They're sitting there saying, I wish I could have, or I wish I would have, or I wonder what would have happened if I would have listened to what Moses said 19 years ago.
Sure.
Do you feel me?
Sure.
But you never stop chasing it.
No.
And that's why I say, like, when you can close your eyes, think about your dream, and it makes you emotional, it's over. So anybody that can get an opportunity to learn from a human being, this is a masterclass. This podcast is a masterclass.
Sure.
But this book is a masterclass, and it's basically your 50-year masterclass. And I can learn it in 2 weeks. Insane.
Sure.
But you said you can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
So let's talk about, you walk away, they offer you a VP job,
Yes.
right?
Right.
And literally, like, anybody that works for a company for 10 years that started there, you know, like, Like you must have this like mindset, because remember, there's the abundance mindset and the scarcity mindset, right? And I'm pretty sure you probably argued with both of them at the same time. This place took me to where I'm at. I have the life I have because of this company. I mean, why would I ever leave this? And it makes sense. But then also the abundance mindset is God's like, hey man, I got a bigger plan for you.
Yes.
The problem is the plan doesn't get shown until later on in life.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And so talk to us about if you feel that calling, urge, you feel that drive. Number one, what does it take to pull it off? Okay. And then number two, how do you know when you should take the shot at it and go for it?
Sure. You know,
because a lot of people took the shot like you and they didn't make it.
They gave up.
So I want to know.
Yeah, they gave up. So, you know, you got a lot of good stuff there, a lot of gems you're throwing out, brother. One of them is it's never, for the listeners out there, it's never too late to reach out to the higher source, man. So I just wanted to point that out because, yes, there's a lot of them that wish, could have, would have, or you know what, today's another day, it's a new chapter, start new. But here's the thing, brother. So when I started the company, you know, and pulled my 401k, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, I worked out of a pickup truck. I didn't have anything, right? I didn't have an office per se. I didn't have much. I didn't have employees. It was just me.
Yeah.
So I started from
You're
the ground
bootlegging
up.
it.
Yeah. So put on my bootstraps, you know, helmet. Let's go to war, right? So the best analogy I can put and say to my staff is, you know, I went under the ocean, didn't come up for air until I found that treasure. Once I found that treasure, I came up, just grabbed a glimpse of air and went back down. So I never gave up. And what I mean by this is, you know, we hit pretty hard. If some of them, I'll take some of you guys back in 2008, 9, 10, when it just crashed, right, the market. And we were crushing it at that time. But something that separates a lot of entrepreneurs and that kept me going was, while everyone else was closing, because we were having more customers, business owners, close doors and canceling on us than we were opening. One of the things that I did is I buckled down, Andy, to answer some of your questions is, what did I do different? What do I do, right? I buckled down, never gave up. I stopped my salary. I didn't take a salary. I stopped the company parties. We stopped buying extra gifts and toys and raises and all this stuff for the whole company. And we buckled down. And as a unit, we united. Yeah, but as a unit, we all came together, brother. At the end of the day, I'm the captain of the ship. I'm leading it, right? I come to my staff, and I'm very transparent. Here's what's happening. We're going. Either we do A, B, or C. I'm cutting my salary so everyone can still. But you know what, Andy? What blessed me and it gets me a little choking up still. I didn't let one person go, brother. We kept the whole company and thrived. God help me, bro. And then obviously 2011 came up, 12, and we just started skyrocketing. But it's what you do, and it's who you take care of, and it's your relationships. I go back to relationships. Is what you're made out of. And I never lost faith, brother. Not one day.
Well, it's your character.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want everybody to understand something. His character is what's got him to where he's at today, right?
100%.
Yeah, who you are. And then plus you built an army.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like I always say, an individual can be beat, but a team can't be beat, because people can sit there and watch you and they're like, oh, this guy, you know, he's great. No. This guy built a great team. That's what you did. Culture. Because you could never do this on your own.
100%.
So you built
100%.
the team.
And I still have people that I hired from day one since the company started in 22 years, brother. So I still have sales agents, independent, commission only, sales agents that still work for me.
Yeah, they love
you. Know?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I never lied, cheat, or steal from them, and you treat everyone like you want to be treated. You know, at the end of the day, man, as long as, listen, I may not be an angel or fly straight, right? But at the end of the day, I'm faithful and I always do 1% better. Like, I love this right here, the 1%, right?
1% better.
Just do better every day.
When your heart's in the right place. You know what I'll tell you? You know, there's not a test in the world that can judge the heart of a champion. Nobody knows what's in someone except the person who's living. Right? Yeah. And your job and what you've done as a leader is you've painted the vision for what this would look like for everyone else involved. Yeah. You've probably resold the vision every day 100%. For the last 22 years. Am I right?
100%.
Okay. You live it.
Live it.
Okay. But also you resell the vision to everyone else around you, and people will follow a true visionary. And what a true visionary is somebody that says they're going to do something and they do it.
Yes.
Okay. And then also your dream's big enough to also hold everyone else's dream. Yeah. I always say this, like, if you stop dreaming or if you slow down, your business will die and your people will leave.
Yes.
And since today at 50, you're still hungry as hell, chasing things around. You're dreaming big.
Yeah.
Your dream's so big. Everybody who's around you is like, dude, man, I can get my dream with this guy. Like, I don't need to leave. Like, you left that company. It's because you didn't see your dream. Their dream in that company wasn't big enough to hold your dream.
100%.
Your dream was too big.
Yes.
Okay. And plus, they were going 60 miles an hour and you were going 65. So you were either going to crash into the back of them or you were going to pass them.
Yes.
Right? And so you had to pass them. And that's why companies have to keep growing. That's why if you run a business, you're a leader, you have to keep growing. Your people are going to leave you. And if your company doesn't grow, it's either grow or die. Right? If you're not growing, you're dying.
Correct.
Okay? And I think there's 3 things that I identified quickly with you. Number 1, you've identified that there's treasure in your business. In the payment merchant processing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You've identified that there's treasure
Yes.
in that industry. Am I right?
100%.
And that's why you've been in it for freaking 30 years.
Yeah.
Number 2, you've identified that you're going to find it. I want everybody to understand this. Even if you believe that there's treasure in an industry, it doesn't mean that you believe that you'll find it.
Yeah.
People are like, I hope I'll find it. No, it's not going to work.
Mm-mm.
So you got to believe there's treasure in your industry. You got to believe that you'll find it. And then number 3, which is why I believe you're here today, you believe it's worth it.
Yes.
Okay? A lot of people do jobs they don't think is worth it.
Yeah.
Dude, you believe there's treasure, you know you're going to find it, and you know it's worth it. That's why everybody's running with you.
Correct.
That's it. I just summed up your whole life. I get it.
Listen, brother, I have to tell the listeners, and listen, this is not a sales job or anything that I'm doing right now, but when I stepped into your compound here, I'm going to call it, right, because it's huge, it's massive, it's very impressive. I felt the energy. I felt the spiritual, the energy, the sales vibe. You have a great thing going for yourself and your company, and you're very blessed. I could tell that. So it resonated a lot with my company, and we carry the same wavelength. It's the vibe, man.
That culture.
Yeah, the culture, bro. You have to continue that. And all the listeners, I mean, it's something that they need to look into and focus on the positive, proactive and productive all the time.
Well, whatever you see is whatever you see. And I always tell people sometimes I just need to rip the eyes out of someone's head, right? Because I walk into the office, I see everything that's right.
Yes.
I literally wake up every morning, I'm like, I can't believe I get this opportunity.
Yeah.
And most people wake up and they see everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the companies where people can walk into the office and see things that are wrong, look, if there's a problem, let's solve it, but let's not complain about
100%.
it. Dude, if somebody complains in my company, I'm throwing their ass through a window.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. You cannot complain here. You cannot whine. You cannot freaking come in here with a bad attitude. If you have a bad attitude, I will kick you out of here immediately. Now, if you're going through something and you're going through a hard time, come to me. You know when we get closer? When you're suffering and I suffer with you and we go through it together. That's the only way you're ever going to build true loyalty and get close to anybody isn't when you're kicking ass and cashing checks.
Yeah.
It's when someone's going through a hard time and you show up with them when they're struggling. And when you show up with people when they're struggling, everybody else bells except the person that wants to build the bond in the relationship and truly loves you. And so that's why I value my marriage, because honestly, I've had people betray me my whole life. And every time, I even at certain times in my life would spend time pleasing the wrong people and then literally look up and everyone betrayed me, everyone left. And then the one that I forgot about, which was my wife, she was the one sitting there by me.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. And so 5 years ago, we've been married for 15 years. My wife married the same man for the first 15 years. But 5 years ago, she would marry a new man. That would be me. And I decided to recreate, and I decided never again would this woman wake up and see the same man again, ever again. And I've been psycho for 5 years, truly obsessed, absolute total recreation. And how I got there, because people say, well, so how'd you do it? Well, number one, I didn't want the same life I was living anymore. Yeah. And all it takes is one decision. The decision you made today, is the future you'll have tomorrow. The decision you made yesterday is the life you have today.
It's never too late.
And so I'm going to go back to your book for a minute, because I think this is really important. Because I don't want you to tell everything, because honestly, I think people need to get into the book, and then the book will take them on a journey, right? And it was your life, but I think they're going to see their life in your book. And then they can decide what decisions do they need to make, or what decisions didn't they make that maybe they can go back and make today. Right? 100%. Because when you read a book, a lot of the times, maybe I don't have the courage to make a decision. But when I read the book, you give me the courage, and I can borrow your courage.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, okay, maybe I can't do it, but you know what? Like, I'm going to borrow his courage. And honestly, there's times that I didn't believe. I borrowed somebody else's belief.
Yeah.
And that's the power of being around great people. Proximity.
Yes.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
You know, a cord of 3 strands isn't easily
Yes.
broken. Like you gotta get around these things that will make you successful. And like everybody wants to be successful, but you know what I think everybody really wants is to just be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what makes me happy? Very clear, and I think yours is the same. I want to be a great dad.
Yeah.
I want to be a great husband.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a great leader to my team. I never want to let them down, and I never want them to outgrow me. They're going to have to chase me till the day they die. I want them to be better than me, but good luck, because I'm a psychopath. And so I'd love for you to be a psychopath. I want to prove to everybody in the world that you're never defined by your last mistake, and so that you can come back. Yes. And that's our faith, right? Sure. Our faith is we were given another chance, really given 20,000 chances. But like, so you get another one too. And then also I want to give grace on people.
Yes.
No one in this world gives grace on anyway. If you see people when they make a mistake now, people try to hang them.
Yes.
You know what? Every time someone messes up, I'm like, good. You know what? That wasn't who you were. Yeah. Now what you did was wrong, but you're not a bad person.
It's number 2.
You didn't want to do that.
Absolutely.
So now that we know that's not what you want to do, let's go do what you want to do. And if we had more leaders like that, everybody in the world would be kicking ass.
Sure.
And plus, I'm a rebel Christian.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to conform. I'm going to throw the tables. I'm going to throw some chairs. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to yell. I like to get like that. Like, I don't want to conform. Yeah, I believe when you become a Christian and you get close to God, I think a lot of people are think, oh, I got to be a sheep now. Oh, I gave my life to Jesus. Now I gotta relax. Now it's time to sit down. No, now it's your time to raise your hand, say, be a leader, use me, God, and I'm going to freaking war.
100%.
Right?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so I think that's probably in your book.
Yes.
Your rage to keep pushing and winning.
Absolutely.
And reaching more people and helping people. And the only reason why he wrote a book, everybody, wasn't for him. It's not for his ego. Look, whether you write a book or not, it's not going to change your wealth, your house, your car, your life. It's going to change someone else's life and maybe let them rewrite their story, break their bloodline, break their generational curses. 100%. Dude, when I say break the bloodline, like that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And so if anybody here, and I want you to finish it out, but anybody here wants to break their bloodline, you want a self-development, you want to level up. Maybe there's one little page in this whole book. I don't know how many pages it is, but there's one page that'll totally change your whole life. If there was and you didn't read it. Yes. Man, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. No, Andy, sum up a little bit of what you said. There is a chapter in there about betrayal, and everyone's going to get betrayed, you know, especially when you're doing well.
Especially when you're trying hard. Yeah. And you believe in people.
Yeah, absolutely. And self-discipline is in there. There's so many things. And here's where I didn't make it for money. For the book, Andy, I didn't write it. Like you said, I didn't do it to earn wealth, right?
Sure.
God blessed me enough, and my thoughts had to go on there as a true story to inspire people. And a lot of DMs that I get, and I'm real grateful and it gives me motivation, is a young lady back east who's studying to be an attorney. She DM'd me. She's like, your book this morning gave me the inspiration to go study, and I'm in tears. Thank you for the motivation and the scripture. I'm like, awesome, bro. Like, that was great, right? And I get so many of those, you know. Other ones like, hey, I needed this. It got me through the day. I'm reading this chapter. Like, awesome. So it talks about betrayal. It talks about God. It talks about politics. It talks about, because I'm a delegate myself, and I'm going to actually go speak at the California GOP in September about that. So, I mean, it's filled with ups and downs, anything you can imagine that someone is going to go through in life. And if they can get one segment, one page, like you said, brother, I did my job. And my job is to go out there and inspire the youth and the young and even the old. It doesn't matter. I have some entrepreneurs that have been in business forever, and 15, 20 years are like, hey, man, thank you for your post today. This motivated me.
Catches them back on fire.
So at the end of the day, it's all about doing the grace of God, doing it positive. And like you said, man, listen, we're not all perfect. I know I'm not. Like sometimes, F-bomb here, F-bomb there, and I'm like, oh my God, what I do, right? Or I just, the anger in me, right? So listen, I remember
it's called being hungry.
Yeah, it's just, and it's just on another level. It's another level. I think Jesus, flipped the table at the synagogue.
I like to use that all the time when I throw stuff. I'm like, dude, Jesus
flipped the table, bro. It makes me feel better. I use it a lot.
Like, I'm always like, so I'm just saying. We can pull it up. I'm just being like my master here.
So, it is what it is, brother. But at the end of the day, we don't lose who we are, because you're not supposed to stay grounded. You have to stay grounded. And and you continue and you just strive and just be dedicated, persistent, and motivated every day, brother. I mean, there's days, listen, guys, at the end of the day, I'm human, right? There's days I don't want to go to the gym. I wake up in the morning, I'm not like, it's like, man, I don't want to go. But guess what? The best feelings when I leave, I'm like, thank God I came. This is the best. So, we're all human, but you have to stay dedicated.
Yep.
That's the ingredient, brothers. Just stay persistent and dedicated.
Yeah, and so I want to finish this out here. This is super important. Number one, really appreciate you, bro.
Thank you,
like,
brother. No,
awesome.
man,
Like every one of you, make sure that you guys get this book. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Fields to Fortune. It's simple. This is important, okay? We all have two wolves with us at all times, and he's got a wolf, right? And then he keeps saying, I'm hungry, I'm pissed off, like I want to do this. It's because he wants to delegate his sleep. That's how much he loves his life. And there's a lot of work to do, and he understands that he has a purpose. And when a man finds his purpose or understands his why, he's very dangerous, okay? And you'll never want to sleep again because, one day we'll sleep forever. So, we're not worried about that right now, right? And so there's these two wolves that all of us have, one on the right, one on the left. You could call it good or bad. You could call it God and the devil, right? One is like fear, like scared, like doubt. And then the other one is like attack. It's like offense. It's like abundance. This one's scarcity. This one's abundance. And the question is, which wolf will live in all of us? Well, it's the one we feed.
Yes.
That's it. And what you've done right your whole life is that you have fed the good wolf. That's what you've done. And that's why people who are miserable and negative, they feed the bad wolf. They just don't ever feed the good wolf.
That's true.
It doesn't mean the good wolf doesn't live in them. They just feed the bad one nonstop.
So true.
And so if anybody today wants to make a decision to feed the good wolf, try it out. Just try it out. Buy the book. Spend what, $30 or whatever?
I think 24.
$24 and feed the good wolf. And I guarantee you're going to be like, damn, this feels good. And guess what? Every time I train, every time I learn something, I just start to be like, you know what, man? I think I'm going to go a little harder. I'm going to go a little bigger. I'm going to be better to my wife today. You know what? I'm going to go to the gym. And then, dude, all these little things, they're small, but they actually accumulate over years to doing really big things, right? And then when you do these big things, everybody's always like, dude, tell me the big thing I need to do right now to change my life.
Yes.
And if you were to answer this, I'm like, my answer is it's actually not the big things anymore.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
100%.
What are the little things? My children are in the next room playing. There's 3 of them. My wife, those are the little things. Spending time with my team. Those, going to the gym and getting to spend time working on myself. Because my job is to take care of me so I can take care of my family. Right?
100%.
Those are the little things that make the big things. So really at the end of your life, it's not even the big things that mattered. It's not the success, it's not the money, it's not the house, it's really the little things. But most people now are blowing through the little things, chasing the big things.
True.
And the ones that never get to the big thing, never paid attention to the little things. That's why their hearts are ripped out. And so I think today's a good day to reset. Everybody right now, make sure you go get the book. Okay, we're going to put the link. Kick butt. Much love,
Amen,
brother.
brother. Love you.
Anything you want to say as we finish out?
No, just it's a blessing to have for you to have me here, brother. It's really great how we connected, and you're doing a great thing. I love your energy. I love your people. It's amazing, man. God bless and
How
continue.
can people find you on Instagram?
It's
Just for your socials.
First name is website is mosesheredia.com, but my Instagram is Moses Heredia _. So.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. We'll make sure we put that on there. Much love, guys. Get the book. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next podcast.